At this point, I was say, Mosia a boar, mebo and the breme. Or say a boar, Mosia. Hey! Now, Samunia Mobakaya. Oshe dear Koso, Embra Gertrude Torkornoo. Or go through the legal process, Yedibe yin free honor. Embra Afenyo Markin, aircom. No, maybe can't be waha. As someone may catch them when they say. You see, Afenyo Markin, Mimi who said the war, no. I don't really blame him. Samunia Mobeka, my analysis me can be bisa. Say, I don't really blame Afenyo Markin. Now, the reason why I don't blame him, and they say, I personally believe, say, Afenyo Markin, won't trim no, or Philly say, he's part of the reasons in Tia get to talk on ye pameno. Inti say, and I'm also, enti ye pami obia. I was a wokun kunding, nani pakuni hune said dabi, menso me ye ma femu de. Muni amoka ese me kanza asem no. Inti me kase me, if nanka me wa Afenyo Markin shoes mo, anka probably I would even do worse. And the petitioner, Mr. Daniel Ofori, the lawyer, I find the title sorry. In an interview, I reveal, say indeed, say ye can't get to talk on the removal now. One person and nam the sunti, I get to talk on ye yine free or Afenyo Markin. Now, Papa no ababe meki a wild revelation kra na Ghana for create him say Afenyo Markin kra no. Ni nua preko pe ene Gertrude Torkornoo. Yes. That is what the lawyer of Daniel Ofori Eka. Or see, in fact, Afenyo Markin enjoyed contracts. Sikepuduo. Judiciary no. Emra Gertrude Torkornoo ye Chief Justice no. Allegedly no. Afenyo Markin enjoy contracts under Gertrude Torkornoo. Inti enye wanwa se ende ye Gertrude Torkornoo no Afenyo Markin ne gwa because of the relationship I want Gertrude Torkornoo. Ema ni dru baby kra ye se Gertrude Torkornoo kra no allegedly no onye yi kra na e Afenyo Markin mu na ejine mu ema no ede wo mo place ema na ode e hosti eyi no. This is the allegation coming from Tadosori. Na yebekoni akwakoti nsemu a woka because this allegation puts every single thing in perspective. I didn't even know this, but my tremo say Afenyo Markin probably feels say he's the reason why ye mame no intia no wo ye de obeye. And na me no so nti no kokoto ne nsa ko ball police near and they will claim say ye AI no. Anyway, Mr. Remo, answer the Beko story ne so na and then your first time subscribe na click the notification bell ne so. So what tie me na we fuso. Now per se we fu no esotia in the shortest possible time in 10 ba book ne wo screen ne so no me recommend ama. Na nya se bia me de mano keke me amene mo kase yi. Na me funi. And da amene mo kase the same person me amefuni. Na enyama miensa book no etreye. A me di so. Ene na ma me fu ayesa. Upe book ni bia to 055-807-4986. The book is just 100 cedis. Now what's happy and our friend number we are. Ubenya book no in the PDF form or in the 3 video form. What you say? Very simple. That oceana uwo a year YouTube. Now pe book ni bia. There is a link in the comment box. O click here. Ubenya book no in every format you want. What you say? Here. No. Now yenko tie Tadosori in someone or de atuja revelation we make here and there. A year mind-boggling.
Apart from the disrespect, the nominee, it even went further to affect another justice, the most senior justice of the day, Justice Puaman, who was the chairman of the committee that recommended that the Chief Justice be removed. To some extent, I would blame Justice Puaman because, as I have said, I think I've said here or somewhere, that his own report is the problem. The minority leader was one of the reasons why I petitioned, or my client petitioned for the removal of the Chief Justice. There was a huge count which mentioned his name and mentioned the acts that formed the basis of our petition. What was this count? We said he had set a precedent, in fact, a record in the court by being the only party or being the only person who within 2 hours was able to get a full panel of the Supreme Court presided over by the erstwhile Chief Justice to give him orders that by the scope of the application before the court, no court in the world of the common law jurisdiction will give him. Now, in the course of all of those proceedings and after, people who knew the two of them spoke to me and they said, don't you understand? That is his sister. The removed Chief Justice is his sister. When
sister in terms of
Ghana, really come from the same place.
Okay.
1, 2. When her father died, the minority leader hosted her visitors and people who were there.
So this was a part of the thing cry anymore. So Afenyo Markin ni preko pepa ene Gertrude Torkornoo. Not biologically, but we didn't know the revelation behind. So Gertrude Torkornoo had an outside relationship with Afenyo Markin. And it explains why Afenyo Markin dey assembly call Supreme Court no. Enimu ya omo etumitina asia ye panel judges abomu di case no that same day. Because apparently before everything else no Gertrude Torkornoo ni history ne say ne papa wu ye no. Afenyo Markin ne hosti nkrofo eje ne nkrofo ma no. Ahokwo e ba Gertrude Torkornoo ne papa yi ase no. Afenyo Markin eje omo. Not to say they have that relationship already.
Called me. So in some of the, if I had attended the next proceedings, the next person against whom I was going to raise that objection was the Chief Justice. I said, all of these arguments we are having back and forth, and you are literally descending into the arena of conflict, is because somebody that you are close to is the plaintiff in this particular matter. Who was the plaintiff? It is Afenyo Markin. 2, there is now information coming out that there are services being rendered in the judicial service which are linked to Afenyo Markin. He's rendering those services and getting commercial profits.
It's allegedly, the judiciary, Afenyo Markin, allegedly, contracts, judiciary, or Jessica. This is the allegation.
From them, and huge ones. And so, at this point in time, when Afenyo Markin is making it look like, okay, there's a national a public interest aspect of all of this nomination process, and there's some dispute and all of that. It has nothing to do with a minority position. He sold it out to his colleagues to believe that, well, we all have to take a collective position against this, but it is a personal interest. And so the facts that we have show that you have an interest in her being there. And so he's crying louder than every other person because he has an interest in the woman being there. I think they should look at this whole idea of prior approval. That the Constitution didn't say vetting. It said prior approval of Parliament. There ought to be another way of, when they look at your CV and they've done your background checks, if they are calling you for any vetting, then there are specific areas they want you to clarify. Otherwise, Parliament should do an acclamation and you go. And then if you go and you can't deliver, your appointer is there, he will sack you. But they keep all of us glued to television. And we are sitting down there and watching a process that 95% of is a joke. If the AG says he wants a docket now, and you can have an excuse, and the AG is getting jittery, you can understand. But you have even told Ghanaians that way back you tried to stop the man because you had reasons to stop him. 1 year into a regime, you are still investigating. So what is the basis for seeking to stop him previously? And the Constitution is very clear. Some people even still think that his position is untenable in view of the Constitution. But there's a small provision in it that I understand. In his enabling enactment, it is stated clearly that he can prosecute on the authorization of the AG. So how can it be then that he's on equal footing with the AG?
That the AG has authorized?
Absolutely. And
at this point, he was talking about the special prosecutor. But that explains a lot. This new information explains a lot. And it explains, or for me, just as lawyer Tadosori is saying, it looks like Afenyo Markin allegedly has played on the minds of the MPP MPs. because he sold it to them and made them believe, say they were fighting for the country, but apparently they were fighting for Afenyo Markin ankasa. Ebusuafo, Montreal Madwen our comment box ni mo. Na mesrɛ, there is a trip coming off. A business break. You go Dubai from 17th to 22nd December. Now, if you want more information on this particular trip, Fre 024 986 9616. That's it.